Nation of Fitin10, it is day 10 of the challenge, and you'll be getting your numbers here very shortly. Well, maybe by the time you watch this video, you probably already will have your numbers. And hopefully, I haven't checked yet, but hopefully you send me your feedback, because I want you to do that every week. Go to www.trainonmain.com/Fitin10 check-in and send me your feedback, because I want to hear how you are doing, and I want to hear your concerns and your questions, and I want to know, just how involved you are, and based on your feedback, I can usually make a fair assessment of that. Okay, so send me your feedback ASAP. Okay, I still have more reasons why you ought to weight train. I actually got lots of reasons, but I'll go through a couple more, and then I'm not going to bore you anymore with that. But before I do that, I'm going to talk about another bar which I really like, and this is really not a bar that competes with the ISO bars that I've already talked about, which are bars that I sell. The reason why these ones don't compete, yes, they are a protein bar, but they are a low-carb protein bar. So, well, I mean, you could, like, these are really a bar that you want to have if you don't have very much carbs in your diet. Okay, so this may not apply to you right now, but as your carbs go down in the challenge, and they won't get super low, but they'll get lower, you may want to save your carbs and maybe implement things like this, okay, Quest bars, to conserve your carbohydrates. So I buy these boxes at Costco. There is 14 bars in here. I think a box is like, how much is a box? I think it's around 35, something like that. So the bars are just over $2 each, which is really, well, I guess maybe about $2.30, $2.40 a bar, which is really, really a good deal. They might be cheaper than that, actually. They might be $29 or $30. It's around that $30 to $35 mark, okay? So you're paying, $2.25, $2.50 a bar, which is a really good deal. If you buy these in stores, they're like upwards of like $3 a bar. I've seen them up to $4 a bar. Actually, I think $4.50 a bar when you buy them just solo. So very much worth buying a box of them. These are actually the two flavors that I really like. I think this is the best flavor personally. This is chocolate chip cookie dough. These bars, while they do taste, they taste okay. They're nowhere near as good as the ISO bars. The ISO bars taste like a real, they just taste like real food, and like a really good, what's the best way to describe it? Like a really good granola bar, but like better. Whereas these really taste dry and fake, these ones here. But these are not a bad bar, and if they weren't so great, I would not recommend them. One thing that I do like about them is that they are made with soluble corn fiber. So that is a prebiotic food. What that means is it's basically something that your natural bacteria in your gut, it's something that it can feed off of. So it helps to foster, supposedly at least, it helps to foster healthy gut bacteria. Okay, so you will see on these, when you look at the bar, you'll see carbohydrates 21 grams, but really that's not true. Well, it is true, but it's the fiber, the carbohydrates in here is fiber. Okay, so and fiber doesn't affect your blood glucose. We haven't talked about this yet, but fiber is not like a starch or a sugar. Okay, remember, starches are just chains of sugar. Okay, and then when you look at all the different, if you look at all the oses out there, like the fructose and the sucrose and the galactose and the lactose and the sucrose, those are all single unit sugars, or maybe they're units of 2 sugars. Okay, so my point is they're fast digesting sugars. Starches are longer chains of sugars. Okay, fibers are you can think of them as, they're not chains of sugar. They still fall, chemically speaking, in the family of carbohydrates, but they can't raise your blood glucose level. Okay. Anyways, that's what these are made of, primarily speaking, and protein, of course. So they may taste fake, but there is like real whole food in them, like almonds, and there's cocoa butter and and sea salt and stuff like that, sunflower, coconut oil. But there is stuff in here like there's sweeteners in here like erythritol, right, which is an alcohol-based sweetener, and there is sucralose, which is another fake. I don't like to say fake. It's a unnatural produced sweetener, and then there's stevia extract, which is a naturally derived sweetener. Okay, but all in all, not a bad bar. Okay, Quest, 20 grams of protein per bar, 21 grams of protein per bar. Sorry, not as good as isobars, but good if you want to, save your carbohydrates. Okay, 6 minutes. How's that possible? Because I ramble, clearly. Okay. More reasons why you ought to weight train, or why you are weight training, and why you will continue to weight train after the challenge, right? Hopefully. Protection of joints, all right? So this is the thing that baffles me, is when people say, you see people that play sports and they do all kinds of activities, but they don't want to weight train because weight train is dangerous, apparently. I don't know where this comes from. Weight training is the safest activity you can possibly do. You are in a controlled environment. You are controlling the weight. You are deciding how much weight you're going to use. You are deciding the path of the movement of the weight. You are going slow with the weight. Everything is under control. It is the safest thing you can do. It is safest. There is no other activity which is safer. What's safer? There's nothing safer, physically speaking. I can't think of. Okay. Anyways, I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but when you strengthen your muscles and the other supporting tissues, the ligaments and the tendons, which you do when you weight train, you are effectively protecting your joint. When you strengthen the muscles and those other tissues, or I should say or those other tissues, you are teaching where tension should go. You are directing tension to the muscles and off the joints. Okay, that's really important, because as we all know, our joints deteriorate over age. Now, if you train super heavy and you do stupid things, okay, and perhaps you're using, which none of you are, obviously, you're using substances, okay, that can overload the joint, so to speak, because you're producing, sort of like a fake amount of strength. That's a different story. But when you are doing what you're doing, okay, if you're just weight training and you're doing it, quote, naturally or drug-free, you're going to protect your joints, 100%, okay? All right, I've said enough on that, I think. It also reduces arthritis. Okay, if you have, listen, I've had arthritis in my knee. My right knee is arthritic beyond belief, and I've had it since I was a teenager, because that's when I first tore meniscus in my knee, and I've had several surgeries that took all the meniscus out. It's like literally, if you feel my knee, if you put your hands on my knee and I do a squat, it just feels like there's gravel in my knee. But I have no pain. I have limited range of motion, but I have no pain because I've continued to weight train. The doctors always ask me, or when I've gone in to see doctors before, they say, "Oh, when you wake up in the morning, it must be really painful." I'm like, "No, I don't have any pain. I have zero pain." They're like, "Really?" I'm like, "I have no pain, nothing." So hopefully it stays that way. But I really, truly attribute that to weight training. That's really the only thing I can think of. All right. Increased body awareness. Okay, so weight training teaches you how to utilize your muscles and how to engage your muscles in certain movements, so that you know how to use muscles. You know how to lift things properly. You know how to, pull in your diaphragm and to, hold your core tight, and where to position your hips, and, etc., etc., when you're lifting things. So body awareness is huge in this. this is another really important one too. Reduced chance of development of cognitive decline. Okay, cognitive maladies like Alzheimer's and dementia. So there's a lot more research coming out in this area, but it makes a lot of sense too, because when you're weight training, you're training you're training basically neuroplasticity in the brain. You're creating new neural connections. You are keeping things essentially fresh in your brain. So if you have Alzheimer's or dementia in your family, another good reason for you to continue to resistance train. Reduction of okay, let's put this in the realm of a posture. Okay, reduction of kyphosis. Okay, so rounding of the neck, rounded shoulders, valgus, collapse of the foot arch, all that kind of stuff. All these things, hyperlordosis. All these things we are reducing by weight training. Okay, when we train the whole body and we train it correctly. All right, so the list goes on and on and on and on. And again, these are things that weight training only give you. You don't get this from biking or swimming or, and I'm not putting down those things because they have their merits too. I'm just saying, okay? So when you think of weight training, don't just think, oh yeah, that's what the guys with the muscles do. Or that's what the athletes do. Or if you want to get bulky, that's what you do. No, that's not true. It's the furthest thing from the truth. Okay? Well, it's not the furthest thing, but you know what I'm saying. It's a long video today, I apologize. Okay, mess of the day. Long-term consistency over short-term perfection. Long-term consistency over short-term perfection. It's about doing the things day in, day out, not necessarily perfectly, but like I said, it's about executing the tasks day in, day out, and being consistent with that over trying to be perfect in the moment. Perfection, quite often causes paralysis in, and this goes beyond the challenge, of course. Whenever you're trying to do whatever you're working towards or trying to achieve, sometimes you might be worried that it's not perfect enough, so then you don't do it. God knows I've dealt with this, maybe still do to some degree. And so you've got to really not worry about that, rather than just say, okay, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to make sure I keep doing it, and then eventually, you'll have something great in the end, okay? Or at least much better than if you haven't done anything. Okay, so long-term consistency. This is really the crux of changing body composition, the crux of keeping body fat off, the crux of regulating is not the right word, but maintaining your body weight. It's about being consistent. Okay, being consistent with something reasonable, which you've heard me say before. Okay, long-term consistency with something reasonable, rather than trying to be perfect all the time. Although I do want you to work towards perfection. Okay, but you can apply this to many other things in your life too, of course. Day 10 in the books, numbers are coming. Maybe you already got your numbers, because I don't know when you're watching this video, but hopefully you're watching it close to when I post it, so that you're on top and with it. And this video has been far too long, so I'm going to end it right now. Positive energy, positive vibes. As always, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, believe in yourself, and I will talk to you all very soon. See you guys.